Did I press the wrong button? No, we're good to go. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Let's do that intro again. It felt weird. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. There we go. Okay, now we sounded a little bit better. Okay, so that was interesting, right? So let's go over the brother FD Signifier and Professor Odie. Shout out to Professor Odie, and their conversation. Um, so um, I mentioned in here without being mentioned by name. So for those of you that caught when FD Signifier said something along the lines of speaking to a brother in the Black Manosphere and him saying we're both something something white men and we're broken black women. The brother said that we're socialized, that we're defective white men and broken black women, or something along those lines. He's referring to me. When he speaks about that brother's 70% there, he's referring to me. So shout, and he knew I would watch. Shout out to you, FD. Yes, I did watch. And yeah, so and let me give some shout outs real quick. What's going on? Ken Seen Red, what's going on? Indigo Flow, what's going on? Longo Savage, what's up with you? What's up? Good morning. So yeah, so the brother knew I was gonna watch it, and yeah. So first slight correction. If I'm not mistaken, I either said or kind of it was something along these lines of saying black men are raised that they're both defective white men and defective black women. What's important, and I said it was either defective or one of the words along those lines, right? Not broken. It's very important that I stress the difference in what I said. If I didn't say defective, it was a word similar to that, but it wasn't broken. And what's important to say here, and what I think is important that FD missed this, and it's important to say what I said, but particularly the in part, which is that you're not going to have the social power, the prestige of white men, and you're not going to have the humanity and the morality of black women, and therefore you are defective. You are defective black man. It's Oracle and Mr. Smith, right? In the Matrix. You don't have the morality and the humanity of black women, nor will you ever, unless you, of course, are, and this is important to stress, unless, of course, you renounce your masculinity, your madness, and you're effectively a LGBTQ brother, right? If you're not Themis, then you don't get it, right? So once again, you will never be a white man. With the money, you still won't be a white man. With the status, you still won't be a white man. With the looks or you will never be a white man in this society. Cool. But on the opposite end, because of the way intersectionality has informed many of us, particularly college educated black women, particularly the activists or self-pronounced activists, college educated black women, you also won't have the morality and the humanity of these particular women. So you are the worst of the worst. Why are you here type thing? Because FD didn't kind of say all of that, it leaves how he was able to speak about it and critique it. It leaves it lacking. It's missing everything, right? It's like going to Taco Bell instead of going to a corner store taco shop, right? Like you're missing something. It's tacos, but it's not the same. But shout out to Professor Odie. Is it Odie or OB? I think it's Odie. It's Odie, if I'm not mistaken. And my apologies, no disrespect. He still was able to say, well, yeah, the brother's still kind of right. Or he didn't say he's still kind of right. My apologies. He said he can understand that, right? important to say here. I gave FD some time when I spoke to him to kind of get on his, and I gotta say it like this, and my apologies for the profanity this morning. Um, and this is why I didn't make a stream yesterday. I didn't want to start off Black History Month going in on Black people. Actually, my first video that I wanted to plan for this month was going to be to cover the video that's getting some traction right now of the Asian dude. And I didn't even know that Amazing Lucas covered this video. Also, I was going to do my own rendition, and I'm still going to do it, of the Asian dude kind of speaking about anti-Asianness coming from the Black community. And Mr. Z could speak about this ad nauseum because Asian people are really making a play at being honorary white folks. I think they think that they're going to be the Irish or the Italians that got considered white. It's not going to happen. You're too different. But they will use you as a good lackey, though. But all right. While they, that's a whole different. I'm going to mention that a little bit later. Wait, let's finish off on the FD thing. Train tracks. So first, the brother still understood where FD was going with his commentary on my commentary. And I like I was saying, I gave FD some space to sound like a 90s rapper, right? Or early aughts rapper. And excuse my language, the you niggas ain't on my level. Y'all don't really put some respect on my name, right? Some Birdman shit, right? So like I gave FD space to kind of get on his rapper thing and kind of, speak about how, put some respect on my name. And so to FD, not so much Professor Odie, but to FD and to some of the subscribers, primarily some of the, LGBTQ brothers that might follow him, and some of the Black women that might follow him. I'll say this, and even for my little small 1,700 subscribers. So I don't have the subscriber basis FD. Definitely true. I'm not doing the numbers. I don't got the money. But I don't. This is put some respect on my name coming from Mr. Z. I don't think y'all understand what it's like to be a professed lefty in this Black manosphere, and what I've been able to do. In that people still reference Mr. Z. People still show me respect, particularly on this side of the Black manosphere, and I can even travel to the other side of the Black manosphere and still get some baseline respect. I don't think y'all really appreciate what that is over here, number one. Number two, we're not going to sound like y'all because we detest how y'all sound. It's Black men over here in the Black manosphere, whether it's left or right, we detest how y'all sound because there's a tinge, and not really a tinge, it's a whole smattering, but to be fair and nice, there's a tinge of, but the Black women are ultimately right, though, right? You realize that, right? Like, yeah, we're gonna placate you now, and I see this with FD, right? Okay, we kind of understand where you're going, but you need to make it palatable to the women. And to that I say, nigga, haven't we been doing that for the past 60, 70 years? How's that been working? Definitely over the past 40 years. Oh, you can't tell me we definitely haven't been doing that over the past 40 years. How has that been working? Right? Putting everything through are Black women going to understand? Are they going to appreciate this filter? Right? And I'm still on my rapper shit right now. I think y'all woefully underappreciate the brothers in this space, specifically the ones that I interact with and the brothers in my comment section that are this supposed emotionally intelligent people that Black women keep on throwing in our faces. Now, this is the new language they use to say you niggas ain't shit. You're not emotionally intelligent, right? So like, give me a second, y'all. A freaking Corolla tried to block me. Sorry. Nice try, buddy. Shout out to y'all with slow cars that be trying to block other people. And I'm laughing, and I know he's looking at me laughing while I look straight dead ahead. And then it's the funniest part of like when somebody tries to outpower you and then they realize they can't, is that they never actually pull up right next to you. They're either a little bit behind or a little bit forward. They're never actually directly parallel to you. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to. Yeah. Shout out to him. And it's funny because like there's a Kia Soul, the little boxy hamster looking Kia Soul that was in the other lane next to me on the other side, on the right side. And so when the next light turned green, he just crept up and passed both of us. Right? Without speeding, without any of that. And I'm not even driving the Z today. I'm driving my daily. I'm not even driving the Z. You lucky I ain't driving the Z because I would have gave you a good 2 gears and left you way in the dust with minimal effort. So I'm sorry, y'all. And we're back, right? So continuing. So I think those brothers on that side really don't appreciate that many of us over here, our girlfriends, our ex-wives, our baby mamas, they won't act if our ex-girlfriends, their complaint about us will not be he wasn't emotionally intelligent, he wasn't emotionally aware, he was no, right? That's not. It's often the money. Let's be very clear. I'm going through an interview the brother Odie is doing with a sister right now about money or power or control. I'm about 35% in, maybe about a third in. So it's gonna be interesting. I can see Odie realizing how much the lady is like kind of being a little hypocritical, or it's not consistent. When you see a brother like I said, holding that argument right there, holding that argument right there, holding that argument right there, right? You realize, when a brother realizes that, right? No, you could pass me now. I'm done. I already gave you a gear or two. He's trying to get back at me by passing me on the expressway. Yeah, I handled you already. It's done. You already got a 2-piece. But so I think they really underestimate, or they don't appreciate is the word is the phrase I want to use. They really don't appreciate who we are over here, and oftentimes they boil us down to like the black man, the he-man woman hater club, and that's all we are over here. And FD kind of spoke to that a little bit even when he was here. He was pretty much like, every once in a while y'all have a good take on something, or but for the most part this is like, and I'm like, we're never gonna sound like y'all, bro. We're never going to sound like y'all. We grew up with mothers that sounded like y'all and placate ass uncles that sounded like y'all. We're never gonna sound like you, educated or not. We're just never going. We detest the way y'all sound and the tone policing. We detest it. And if it's grating on women's ears, so be it. We detest the way y'all sound. The tone policing, we detest it. We're never gonna sound the way y'all sound. I gotta keep on saying it. So, and I want FD to, if he ever listens to this, to understand that. I understand what you're doing, or what I think you're doing, right? And it goes back to what you were saying with tone policing, and that's what you bought OD on. Excuse me. That's what you bought OD on for, right? And excuse if the background noise, everyone, and the road noise. My apologies. And I'm going to try my hardest to keep on subject, regardless of what's going on the road with me. So, I think I see what you're doing. And shout out to Professor Odie. It's well, ladies, Y'all got some things to consider. Also, I see what you're doing, FD, and I and I'm telling you right now, brother, outside of that circle, it ain't gonna work. I'm telling you that now, so that when it doesn't, I can say I told you so. Because I don't think y'all fully appreciate consumerism and materialism and how that wraps with women's expectations now. This is what many of us in the Black manosphere have been speaking about ad nauseum, definitely over the past 5 years, right? So we already, much of us are already out of the red pill rage stage. As a group, we're way past that. As a group, we're analyzing how women interact, Black women and women of color in large parts, but Black women specifically because we're Black men, interact with, and like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, interact with white supremacy, how they play a role. And as a matter of fact, brother, you kind of admitted that you realize that Black women have been placed as the colonizing agent in the Black community. Well, if we live in a white supremacist, hyper-capitalist, neoliberal, patriarchal society like you guys call it, then how will Black women internalize that, and then how will they speak about Black men and to Black men? Can it be some of that "you Negroes ain't ish" thing? Can it be some of that? I already started using profanity. It's already done. You niggas ain't ish thing. You can it be some of that? And you're not me. You're not a Black woman, so you're not gonna have the morality of me and the humanity of me, and you're not gonna have the power and prestige of white men. How would you say Black women who are raised in this society, how do they speak with, interact with Black males, that's Black boys and Black men, after living in this? Whether they had a father in their life or not. Whether they had supporting Black men in their life or not. Because from my understanding, Uchechi's father was part of her life. As a matter of fact, her mother was the primary breadwinner, if I'm not mistaken, from all the Grapevine videos I watched, and Uchechi still sounded how she sounded. Just another angry, bitter Black woman who's Ivy League or second-tier school educated, because I think she went to Dartmouth. One of the D schools, not like D level schools, but like damn near Ivy League D schools, which is like notable, right? She went to one of those, and she still sounded like another angry Black feminist who's really mad that attractive Black men ain't checking for her like that. But neither are the attractive white men. But I'm gonna lie about the fact that they have flirted with me before, so I could chastise the Black men, both that I don't want and the ones I do want, right? And I'm saying all of that to say, until we have a real good faith, because like I said, I think I know where FD is going. I think I see what he's attempting to do. And it goes back to him attempting to tone police us, which is, you Negroes are going about this all the wrong way. You're too loud, you're too aggressive, the women won't hear you. Well, for many of us, we don't care if they hear us, because we did the softer, nicer thing. FD, I'm telling you right now, brother, I said it to you. Maybe you thought I was joking, or maybe you think you ain't gonna get caught up. I'm telling you now, eventually you will, and it's gonna be for something benign, small, and petty, because they're not trying to hear you. They want the money. I think y'all missed that. So they want a lifestyle. Let me say this again, FD. Brother, they want a lifestyle more than anything else you talking about. That emotionally intelligent crap is just a ruse. You think Black men are materialistic? All right. Brother, I'm telling you that when you run into that wall, and you're going to run into it hard as hell, if you haven't already, but you pretending, and you realize, oh shit, all these, they talking all that crap, but really, even the divestors, all they really want is a lifestyle, even if they could afford it themselves. Wait until you run into the wall, brother, and realize even the six-figure Black women are like, yeah, this is nice. Where's my $250,000 man? My $350,000 man? My $500,000 man? My $1 million man? Oh, You keep on thinking these women really want egalitarianism. And maybe you don't think that, but you're speaking this way for a particular reason, right? And I can understand that. Maybe I don't see the mastermind plan, right? Okay, granted, Mr. Zeal makes space for that. But brother, you really don't appreciate how much brothers in here have it together. Most of the brothers in the Black Manosphere aren't the bums, bro. They're not the emotionally unintelligent losers who want power with no money, no status, no nothing, want to go home and grab their woman by the neck and F her on the couch and bark at their son and tell them to toughen it. We're not those guys over here, bro. These Neanderthals, we're not those people. And when you run into that wall, and I think he already has, but I think he thinks he's doing something that some of us haven't already tried. He really think these college educated, and I'm saying this, I'm not talking about the hood sister that can't put two words together. I'm saying the very well-spoken, college-educated, master's degree, maybe even PhD level Black woman, accomplished, right? All the way down to your hood sister. You think those educated women want non-binary you really woefully underappreciate the fact that they're just angry they can't have the nigga they want the way they want them. Why do you think I keep on going at Kim from Fort Harriet? I'm not doing that because I have a personal issue with Kim from Fort Harriet. I'm telling you that's what's fueling her, and that's what's fueling a lot of these other women. Their education be damned. What I'm telling you, and I think you really didn't appreciate it until I vocalized it to you on when you came to speak to me. Y'all have a problem dealing with the fact that you're running into late 20-something-year-olds, 30-something-year-olds, 40-something-year-old, 50-something-year-old women. I'm just doing Xers and down right now. I'm not even going to go to the boomers yet. That their major issue is that they couldn't get or keep the type of men they wanted, the type of young men they wanted, because some of this trauma go back to middle school. And everything they've said and done for the past 30-something, 40-something years of their life. Yeah, you heard me. Decades of their life is because they couldn't get nor keep the ultra attractive, accomplished brothers, the tens. So as much as we say y'all dudes just have a problem that y'all couldn't get Halle Berry or keep her or whatever. What I'm saying, brother, is at least Ostefko says it. But that's the same type of energy that fuels the Kim all the way up. Kim Foster all the way past her. And that's why I brought up to you, if I didn't, if you're listening, the Oprahs who said the reason why I am the way I am is because I knew I couldn't have a man fund my life. And Oprah still resents that to this day. Y'all speak about patriarchy, as I've said before. You could talk that on a macro level for white folks. But when you get to the Black community, we're dealing with other things outside of this mythical, magical white patriarchy that's the bane of y'all existence, and that's the problem with everything. No. Every once in a while, shout out to the sister, I can't remember her name, one of y'all could put it in the comments, that was on Obsidian channel, and that said, we want the lead attorney. The lead attorney is FD already knows about the lead attorney. So yeah, we want the lead attorney. And we hold out for him. And when he doesn't talk to us, we go live our lives and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. and we treat the men that we're with as temporary men because we can't get the lead attorney. So a lot of married brothers, a lot of baby daddies, a lot of boyfriends, they're being treated as the temporary man because this woman's resentful at the world that she couldn't be with the lead attorney or dudes on his level. And that trickles down into our intimate relationships. It trickles down into our platonic relationships with women, with black women. And I think that FD Signifier and his ilk do not have not really engaged with the fact that as much as all of your women from the bottom, from the girl at the register, the young lady at the register, 19, 20 years old, all the way to your 70-year-olds, your 65-year-old accomplished black women, educated, your professors, even in the humanities. Oh, Mr. Z, you going there? Yes, I am. Even to your bell hooks. Oh, no, you did. Yes, I did. What fuels them is some resentment that Michael B. Jordan ain't holler at him. And all they do is what a lot of women do, which is hide all of that behind yap 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 yap. And when you push them hard enough, and when you back them into a wall and you give them no escape, it comes down to what celebrity black men are doing with their Johnson. And they will pontificate and they will go into withering detail and they will talk around it and they will imply and suggest different things about sexuality and patriarchy and black men attempting to be white patriarchs and what black men find attractive and why they find it attractive and black men not being there for black women and etc etc. But when you boil it and you saw it with y'all despise Kevin still to this day, right? Y'all despise him still to this day. And you know what Kevin exposed every night on that damn show? Whether educated or not, whether light skin or dark skin, whether heavy set or slim. Women in the West, black women specifically, black American and Americanized women, even more specifically than that, when it boils down to everything. That's why he had the drop. I'm a PhD because it didn't matter her education level. It didn't matter how much money she was making. It didn't matter how much money he was making. You know, we have this situation that went on in Tennessee, and you know, we've been speaking about it a lot lately, and we've been speaking about how it affects. We've been speaking about how there's data that has been shown that it's less dependent what race the cop is. It's more dependent on what race the supposed perpetrator is, or the person on the opposite side of the law in this situation, or the person that's being stopped by the police. So you can have a black police, a Latino police, a white police, and they all have a particular view of this black person that they're stopping. Yes, even the black police, right? So we have some data that shows that even the black police see black men a particular way, even black men who are police. Now, because they're black men, it ranges on their reaction and their interaction with that particular other black man. What I'm saying is you can take that and transpose it on the way black women interact with black men, the way they see black men, the way women see men in general, but black women specifically. It doesn't matter her position, her education. Now, we can have a debate and a conversation about what's innate and what's not, and it's gonna get real ugly. No wonder the brother said he felt uncomfortable when I started going into. I think women still want that, no matter where they are. That's why he started saying, "I feel uncomfortable about this," because the left has a real issue coming to terms with maybe a lot of what we see in men and women is not socialized, it's innate. And what you're attempting to do is socialize them outside of what is innate and in their nature, right? I think the brother FD and his ilk have a real problem wrestling with the fact that even if you put women in the optimum position, they fundamentally cannot appreciate a man that doesn't earn as much as them or more. And like I said, that doesn't just stay in their intimate relationships, it trickles down into everything. I think all capitalism did and all white patriarchy did was exacerbate that. Y'all could talk about whatever models of matriarchy and egalitarianism coming out of Africa 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. Y'all could talk about that, right? But what happened to all those empires when white patriarchy walked into Africa? Oh, crap. What about South Asia? Oops. East Asia? Yikes. North and South America? Goddamn. The Caribbean? Whoops. And I'm blackity, blackity, black, 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 black. But we have to be honest about what happened when white folks sailed out of the Atlantic. And even without that, we're in a space now where the women are telling you, not the men, FD, the women are telling you, I'm not turning back. I cannot appreciate a man not on this level. Y'all hated Kevin. Check out Kendra G's channel. The women are coming on and telling you over and over again. And more, shout out to the stud daddies. You're having stud lesbians, more masculine presenting and speaking and acting lesbian women who telling you the women are coming to them, the femme women are coming to them with a raw deal. Y'all just have an issue dealing with the fact that the women don't want what y'all are selling. Y'all could snap y'all Thanos snap y'all fingers tomorrow and just have a bunch of egalitarian men walking around. Just nothing but egalitarian men. The women are like, yeah, no, I don't want it. I'm talking, and the brother chuckled when I said it. The women are telling you, yeah, I'm talking crap about these men, but I don't actually want what y'all selling. And he chuckled when I said it. FD, you chuckled when I said it because you know that most women in America, particularly black women, that's what they're on. Yeah, we hyper critiquing these men, but what y'all, the bisexual men y'all selling, right? The non-binary men y'all selling, these egalitarian men y'all are selling, y'all actually think we want when we talk about this, we don't actually want, right? And better uses can't forget the hypocrisy of celebrating the rejection of Michael B. Jordan when 5 minutes prior he was goals. If he's not good enough, none has a chance, bro. You see what I'm saying, right? And look at how many women got off on watching Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey's situation. Look at how, excuse me, look at how many women got off on seeing that because they feel as if Lori Harvey has some, this is beautiful. She's exercising her feminine power by being with all of these men and breaking up with them. All of these men of status and means and breaking up with them. And not just breaking up with them from what women are saying, tearing them out the frame, making them feel a certain way. Ha 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 ha. And the subtext of that is because that's how we've been made to feel by you men. Why? Because the super good looking dude in your high school wasn't looking at you. right? So, I watched it, the FD and OB interview. Shout out to both of them. Um, I Let's see if this works. This experiment y'all been on for the past few decades. Um, and those brothers are young. Professor Odie, from my understanding, he said he's not even 30 yet. Um, and he does have an interesting perspective. I'm not, gonna completely defecate on him. Like I said, I don't actually think I could. Um, it's just, and shout out to Professor Odie because he actually speaks about whether, and I want y'all to really hear this. Actually, I want y'all to check out towards the end of FD and Professor Odie's interview. The brother said something very interesting. Are black men so afraid of their black men? And I'm paraphrasing. Are they so afraid of being a different type of man or being truly black men? They're afraid of what that would entail. And the way I registered what he said is, are black men afraid of being so advanced that when they present who they are, they will not be appreciated? And it might actually be dangerous, right? And thank you, F Holiday, for the Cash App. Let me see if I can read that comment from here. Oh crap, I can't. Oh, I can't. If I do that, the screen's gonna switch off. But thank you, F Holiday, for the Cash App. Oh man, because I think I saw the beginning of it. I think you said FD fart something. Let me see. Give me a second, y'all. I might have to click this real quick, and it might take me off for a second. Okay, I see it. It says F Holiday Sin. Yeah, okay. FD equals fart cannons and decals. Good car reference, right? And yeah. So I think the brother doesn't. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me actually, before I go on into that. Um, Professor Odie was speaking to whether we're afraid of exhibiting a a different form of masculinity, whether black men are afraid of exhibiting a different form of masculinity, um, that might be dangerous, or that might, I'm paraphrasing because this is how I was registering it, and that might not be appreciated. And to that I say, I think because the way black men have been positioned in this society, I think black men do exhibit that masculinity. I think we lean into that. Much of it is not by choice. I think the environment will not allow for black men to be these white patriarchs chocolate dipped. And I think what you're finding is that the women don't appreciate it. Think about the complaints from the women. Think about what guys like me are saying. Think about it. We already have so much data that shows how egalitarian black men already are, how black men view women, how black men advocate for women, women in general, black women specifically, right? Think about all of our civil rights leaders. Think about the fact that the Black Panther Party took into consideration all the complaints from the black women in the Black Panther Party and readjusted. How much of that would have happened in another country, in another community in America, let alone? The women would have complained, they would have got a swift backhand and be told, go back in the kitchen. Right? I think y'all just have a hard time, and this is to Professor Odie. I think in the black community we have and I don't think Professor Odie is one of these people. I think I this is why I made the video theory versus practical, because I think we have a hard time dealing with, and not Professor Odie in particular, because as I'm going to go through more of his stuff because I think I see something there. Um, but I think that we have a hard time dealing with the fact that we sold black men something maybe prematurely, and as they've come out in this world and attempted to practice what we taught them, they ran into the buzzsaw that you ain't teach your daughters the same thing, and so they resent y'all for it now. They resent y'all for raising them to be egalitarian at best and not be partial to gynocracy at worst. And now your son, this is how you get your sons being in the black manosphere and going to the more rageful side of the black manosphere. And even just jumping completely out of the black manosphere and going to the white manosphere, which is even, you think we sound crazy to you. Because your sons resent that they were raised, even if they were in two-parent households, to defer to the women, to be kind and gentler to the women. And they did that and they got their heads taken off. Whether these brothers had some stability and some money and some status or not. The brothers are running into the fact that even when they come in and want to do the 50-50 and want to do the egalitarian thing, particularly working class brothers are running into this, right? So this is where education and status might actually give FD and OD a one-up. But y'all are running into hypocritical educated women on that level too, so let's be honest. But particularly working class men are running into the fact that they're coming into the door. All right, babe, what do you think? Okay, let me see what these other women think. Nah, nah, nah. And they're running into the, oh, but everything was left, and now she wants a man's man. And I think FD, I'm not saying anything he hasn't maybe considered. I just don't think he has really put much stock into then what does that do to your black families when you raised so many black boys and men to be egalitarian at best, if not gynocratic at worst, and then they're running into the women that talk that talk, but when their backs are to the wall, it's where's my Superman, super patriarchal man with the S on his chest, right? And even to the point where even FD said on the interview with me, the women that want certain patriarchal tenets, he knows it. Right? And thank you. Lord Juno says, Mr. Z, you gotta make the difference though. Brothers ain't wishing death on females, but you'll see women wish death on men all day, i.e. Kevin. Brother, thank you. Thank you. Right? And I think those brothers have a real time because FD keeps on saying, "Oh, these sisters ain't the divestor sisters and all of these different type of black women. They're not as prominent as y'all think. Their language doesn't go as far, bruh." And I directed him to a therapist, and he kind of minimized that. Their language goes far and wide, brother. Their language goes far and wide, right? You know what I think has happened? I think and this goes to my video on messaging. I think what has happened, and you got to give it to women in general, black women specifically, because they speak and they couch their issues with black men, and they speak about intersectional feminism, and they speak about black women empowerment, and they speak about wanting self-determination and their concepts of being liberated from the patriarchy, and they couch much of what their actual sentiments behind that type of language, and they go out and get degrees. And I'm not saying this is like some insidious muhaha plot, although I think at the very top rungs it is. And that's me with my tinfoil hat, and I don't care. But I'm saying because many black women, they obviously, we know black women out educate black men in the black community, or at least formal education. Because they have these issues with black men, these internal issues with black men. She goes and get her degree. She might get her degree in the humanities or the social sciences, and she knows how to speak in a certain way, right? And we listen to that woman speak in this particular way I'm saying, and we think she don't still got daddy issues. We think that her issue really isn't her being trapped in her 16-year-old mental state, or at least emotional state, right? And you watch, I mean, like, oh, Stefco, anyone? Kim from For Harriet, anyone? Chrissy, anyone? Paris Malone, anyone? Real Talk with Yanni, anyone? Real Talk with Yanni got to be what, in her early 30s? And she's responding to the white girl that's talking about we've done the work, and the men need to do this, and the men, and she go and Real Talk with Yenny literally came out of her mouth about, you know who needed a hug, you know who needed this, 16-year-old me. At the least, that's about 12 years ago. Real Talk with Yenny got to be at least 28, if not somewhere in her early 30s, 31, 32 or something. So at least we talking about 12 years ago, at the least. And FD talking about emotionally intelligent, and not him just, but you know, in his space, they speak about emotional intelligence coming from the men. And these are women that who claim they've been in therapy. FD, let me give you something to think about, because somebody slipped up in one of these women's comment sections and said her therapist essentially her therapist is on some F black men too thing, black woman therapist. FD, have you ever considered that the society has changed so fast and so much that these women are going to school, they're going to therapy, they're getting high paying jobs, they're making their money, and all of these things are just reinforcing their anti-black misandry? Yeah, yeah. Yes, better you. Is Yanni the thick light skinned one? Yes. Right? All of the things, and white supremacy, let's be honest. Everything black women, because we critique black men ad nauseum with this, all of the things that black women are engaging with now, from being in the corporate environment to being blue collar in the factory floor to the education system to entertainment that they're engaging with, is only reinforcing a neoliberal white patriarchal concept or understanding of black men. So they're viewing black men through this particular lens. And even when they go to therapy, it's being reinforced oftentimes by the same black woman therapist that they're interacting with, i.e., the therapist, right? We have a real hard time dealing with this. And shout out to the brother, like I said, Odie. I think he's playing around with some of this stuff and showing like having a real conversation, right, with a lot of the women. I'm like I said, I'm checking out his channel. You know, and his name is Professor Odie, brother with dreads. You know, and I'm gonna follow up on his channel a little bit more, and maybe I'll have something to say about it later. Maybe not. We'll see. Um, but like to answer, I, I'm gonna have to wrestle with what he's saying a little bit more. But my initial answer to his comment about black men maybe being afraid of presenting a black masculinity that's even more challenging to white supremacy, or that um maybe too advanced. And I know those are not the exact words that he said, but you know, paraphrasing it at least the way I registered it. I'm going to listen to the entire interview with him and FD again, and then I'm going to listen to a lot of his other commentary to kind of, or his interviews to kind of see where he's going with this kind of way of viewing it. But my initial response is black men are arguably the most egalitarian group of men in America, black American men, particularly, right? ADOS, FBA, but black men in America writ large. And as you can see from black women, they don't really appreciate it. Number one. Number two, in a weird way, you may be saying, and I think he is saying this, that that's still not enough, right? The whatever egalitarian spirit black men have is still not enough. It's not egalitarian enough, right? And whatever masculinity black men are practicing right now is still not good enough, even though it might be better than everybody else's, or more ideal, if I should say, than everybody else's. And to that, I say, if this ain't good enough, then goddamn. Right? If this ain't good enough, then goddamn, what is? Right? And so I'm gonna pause right here for this because I really want to get this second part out, and I'm gonna do a better and more in-depth review of this a little bit later. Um, you know, for Black History Month, I really wanted to come in with a little bit of fire and brimstone. And I'm probably gonna sound even more animated when I do a part two to this. Look, there could be some allyship with the Asian community, both South and East Asian community. There could have been, and there could be, and maybe in different pockets of America there is, right? Some of you got Asian friends and Asian associates, and y'all that had sex with Asian women and whatever, and had real friends, with being around the East. I'm particularly speaking about East Asians, but South Asians are kind of in there too. Let me say this: East Asians and Black people have a fundamentally different, I would argue, a fundamentally different want in America. Black people want to do better. Black people want to tear down what this is and reconstruct something more equal, more fair, not just have the faces, certain faces in high places be black. And I think that East Asians are perfectly okay with being second place to white folks. I think that's reflected in their interracial marriage rate with the women, East Asian women married to white men, and how large of a percentage that is. I think that's also reflected in more and more conservative Asians, both East and South Asian men, sounding exactly like white men, right? I think that's also shown in how many East Asian men in particular aspire to have white women, right? I think we have to be honest that when black people are fighting for in large, writ large, excuse me, and what East Asians are fighting for are two different things. I think we have to be honest that every once in a blue, they might look the same and we can maybe ally on something, but we have to be honest that East Asians are perfectly okay with being white people's lackey. We have to be honest about that. I mean, you saw this reflected on the Vice conversation with Asians in the Asian cat that had the suit and pretty much looked like an Asian Ben Shapiro. Um, and the South Asian guy that pretty much looked black, the bald head South Asian dude who said we need to lean into being model minority or something along those lines, he said. Um, we have to be honest about the fact, like, you know, the Asian community, both South and East Asian, and South and East Asian, they, black black people whose fight is not the same as their fight. We also have to be honest, like these people are perfectly okay with being they're having real conversations about leaning into being the model minority. You know, Other people come from cultures where there's an underclass, and there's a permanent underclass. And when they come to America, it doesn't take much time to realize who the permanent underclass is in America, right? And these people make very calculated choices and decisions to distance themselves from that group of people, right? And to do the bidding of the dominant society, white people, both in rhetoric and in action. You saw this with the Irish and the Italians, right? When they were relegated to being in spaces with black people, there were still issues, but they played nice, air quotes, nice, or as nice as they could. But the second it looked like there was a space for them to be considered white, they took it and they did exactly what other, WASP white people have done. And still to this day, the old money and the big money, contrary to popular belief, is still WASP, with some notable exceptions in the Jewish community. So Italians still don't got that type of money, neither do the Irish. The money in America is still mainly WASP, once again, outside of some exceptions in the Jewish community. Right? So they did all that to be like the bottom of white people still. Right? And shout out to D. Scott for the super chat. And he says, the calmest fire and brimstone ever. You know what? Maybe I need to work more on my aggression. He said, the calmest fire and brimstone ever. It really is. It really is. I need to throw some more profanity in there and bark a little bit more, and yeah. That's funny. That's funny. It's true. It's true. I'll concede. It's true. It's true. Right. But the East Asian community, to me in particular, like I said, the South Asian community is in the critique, but it's really the East Asian community. I understand white society gave y'all a space, and y'all gonna exploit it. You're gonna take it. Cool. But let's not pretend like you ain't playing this game too. I'm going to watch the full video myself. So I have the video in my history. I clicked it, and then I just found out last night that Amazing Lucas did a review of this video, this particular video I'm speaking about, and I'll link it in the description when I actually review it. And Amazing Lucas did a review on it 2 weeks ago, and it's been in my history for about a week and a half. So if not 2 weeks ago. But yeah, so, and it just reminds me of how much content I've consumed from Asians and East Asians, particularly, that speak to this. And I refuse to believe that the race of people that had the balls to fight white people in Vietnam, had the balls to bomb Pearl Harbor, had the ingenuity and the work ethic to build the Great Wall of China, was able to like kick their people into modernity within a century with Japan, caught up to air quotes the developed world in half a century with China. Like, I refuse to believe that group of people. I mean, Singapore, I mean, name them. Taiwan, name them. Like, I refuse to believe that group of people, and notice I'm really talking about the white East Asians, the lighter skinned ones. Y'all notice that, right? Good. I refuse to believe that group of people that have that level of intelligence, that level of work ethic, all of a sudden, when it comes to America and its racial dynamic, don't understand what the hell is going on. Right? No, you know what's going on, and you're playing like you don't. You're playing plausible deniability while kissing white ass and trying to step on black people. Right? The group of people, the race of people, and I know I'm speaking, that's a wide group of people, right? That's a what from South Korea to Japan to China to Singapore to Taiwan. That's a what. That's a, they're not a monolith. That's understandable. I understand this. What I'm speaking about is more of a pan Asian concept. I understand, right? And shout out to Detroit. Thank you for the super chat. I'll leave that up for a little bit. I understand that. I get it. But what I'm saying, that's various different cultures and various different groups, various different languages. I understand. Mr. Z gets it. But don't miss what I'm saying. What I'm saying is those people come to America, then all of a sudden don't understand anti-blackness, white supremacy? No. You understand anti-blackness, white supremacy. You understand where your bread is buttered, and you made a choice. Now you try to mitigate for that choice that you made by now claiming to be the victim of supposed black people's anti-Asian sentiments. What you're doing and saying is not by happenstance. It's a cold, calculated decision. I would like to direct y'all to Thaddeus Russell, a white man, professor, who spoke about how the Irish and the Italians made a calculated choice. The leaders in their communities made a calculated choice to distance themselves from black people when the door to whiteness opened up in America. They said it. We need to stop the dancing. We need to stop the comedy skits. We need to stop that. We need to distance ourselves from black people because it looks like we might be able to make a play at being considered white properly. Why does Mr. Z bring that up? To say that East Asians are doing the same goddamn thing. It's not by happenstance. It's not a coincidence. Ooh, what a coinky dink. It's not a coincidence. Right? Even in was it Funk Brothers that produced this? It was a clip of a video that I was watching where a mixed Asian black woman was in a relationship with an Asian dude, and she used to date a black dude, and she went to a house party, and her ex, the black guy, was there, and he got into a little back and forth with the East Asian new boyfriend, and he started to speak about how Asians don't show up for minority issues and people of color issues and all that other stuff. And in the comments, because Mr. Z goes straight to the comments, was a bunch of Asians, East Asians in particular, saying, so what's wrong with the model minority? Of course we're going to stay out the way and shit. That's not our fight, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah. So once again, don't come calling. Don't say we're in this together. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. We in this together. No, don't come calling. Don't come anything when white people occasionally remind you not them, when they put a foot in your rear end, when you as an East Asian woman, your white boyfriend puts hands on you. Shout out to that East Asian woman who tried to claim that some black dude was playing the knockout game and punched her when your white boyfriend's friend, so a white friend, snitched y'all out and said, no, your white boyfriend be putting hands on you. Right? So when that happens, when white folks remind you ain't them still, even with all the ass kissing, when they remind y'all of that, right? When the white guy uses you as his sexual plaything, Miss Asian woman, and then still marries Becky, y'all remember, this is what you wanted. When America and China are so perfectly encapsulates what I'm saying. The American-Chinese relationship currently. They use you as the manufacturing hub of the world for the past few decades. And now that they're automating, they're pretty much trying to cut ties as fast as possible. America first your ass, and then kick y'all to the curb. And is China going to be okay? China's going to be okay. China's going to be okay. But don't miss the example. They used you for cheap labor. And once they found cheaper labor in machines, they done. And your coward ass, all y'all could talk about during COVID was black people's anti-black sentiment. Excuse me, black people's anti-Asian sentiments. when the vast majority of the people that was harming y'all were white folks. But your coward ass and your very calculated ass decided to go in on black people because you know where your bread is buttered, right? And I want to Kenyatta, Kenyatta. Oh my God, got my apologies, brother. I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get it one day, right? But the brother says, my father told me as a boy, it is no accident that someone who can't speak English owns a restaurant, right? A laundromat, and etc. in a black neighborhood. It's not. Shout out to your father. Shout out to your father. He's right. We know what this is. Black people have been regulated to the permanent underclass, and other groups of people, when they start to come into America in mass, they pointed to, they're shown black people, ADOS, FBA specifically, and pretty much told, you don't want to be like them, then you know what to do. Right? Everybody knows what it is, man. Everyone knows what it is. And every once in a while, people will slip up and say it. Right? The left-leaning East Asians and South Asians, they say it. Every once in a while, they'll say it. And you know what? Shout out to the East Asian men who don't know how to play this game, who don't know what's really going on. Y'all don't really get it. Let me put it out there for y'all. Half the reason why y'all are dealing with the fact that your women want to marry the white dudes is the same thing that y'all are perpetrating with your white worship. Why would she want to get the imitation white man in you when she could get the real white man? Oops. That's why y'all have an interracial marriage rate for American-born Asian women of 54%. Why would she want to get the white racist Asian dipped man, the anti-black Asian dipped man in you when she could get the real thing in the white man? At least black people, black men in particular, offer this society a different way, a different model. And yeah, we got to pay for it. Yeah, we got to pay for it. Oh, yeah. Oh, society's on our ass tough. But you know what East Asians said? Yeah, we're not going to offer another model. We're just going to be white people 2.0 in America, and we'll be their lackey, and we'll stay out the way, and we won't challenge white supremacy, and then your daughters end up marrying the white guy. Go figure. Oh, sorry, let's be honest. In California, they're having sex with the black guy, and they marry the white guy. And if they get enough money, then they turn around and divorce the white guy and marry the black guy. Shout out to what's her face, Jeezy's wife. Because what model of fighting against this system have Asian men really shown in America? Which I got the one or two Asian dudes that was part of the Black Panthers, and wasn't like one of them a snitch, if not both of them? Wasn't he an informant? Ha! That's y'all example? No, and that is why I said 54%. That means the majority of American-born Asian women marry outside of their race, and primarily to white men. So 54% of Asian women marry, American-born Asian women marry outside their race, and the majority is to white men. And Asian men fight against that by doing what? Talking crap on the internet? Oh, I forgot, 38, 39% of American-born Asian men marry outside their race, primarily to white women. So both of y'all worship white people. It's just one of y'all could get them better than the other. And y'all talking about anti-Asian sentiments coming from black people. Y'all don't even like being Asian. Ooh, god damn, Mr. Z, you said that out loud. I meant it. All that education, all that intelligence, all that hard work, all of that staying out the way, all of that ass kissing, and then y'all produce hopper babies that hate being half and half anyway. God damn. Huh. And Jigen or Hagen says every other group that's here and coming here know exactly and the anti-black misandry of the USA and proceeds to profit from it. Pretty much. Exactly. Exactly. And thank you for the super chat, brother. Exactly. Right? I see the Asian cat from Just Kidding Films. I forgot his name, right? The one that's been there the long it's two of them, right? One of them, both of them got caught doing blackface. And no one, yo, I always knew that there was something weird about them brothers. Not David So Comedy, not him, not the heavy set brother. Not that I said brother because he grew up around black people in California. You could tell he grew up around black people because the way he speaks and sound, he doesn't sound black in the way he speaks. And his comedy isn't even like a rip off of black people necessarily, but you could. There's a certain level of like self awareness and confidence in him that doesn't come off fake. But the super swole one, I forgot his name, the one with the Mexican woman, right? He a little bit, but there's the other one. I forgot his name. Motherfucker come off fake as hell. He's corny half the time. And you could tell his pro-Asianness is fake as hell. Nigga, wasn't you with a white woman at one point? Wasn't you engaged to a white woman? Get the hell out of here. Right? What y'all trying to imitate black people with the the pan-Asianness and the pro-Asian? Nobody believe you, bro. Your women don't even believe you. That's why they're marrying the white dudes. God damn, Mr. Z. To the point, Buddy Rowe is over here. I'm watching a panel of them, and they're denying what the other East Asian dudes are saying about the dynamic between East Asian women and East Asian men in the Asian community. Denying ain't gonna fix it, player. Telling them they lying is not gonna fix it. Y'all raise y'all daughters to worship white men. God damn, Mr. Z. All that stay away from them. Excuse me. All that stay away from them niggas over there. Yeah, stay away from them niggas, and your daughter's going running right into the arms of the white dude. %54% of American-born Asian women marry outside their race. The ones that do get married, right? So of married women, of married East Asian women, or I think it's Asian. I don't think it said East Asian when I looked at the data, but Asian women, right? And out of that 54%, the majority, the vast majority, is white men. And of course it is. What was the name of the Asian chick that used to be on MTV or some one of those? Y'all know who I'm talking about. They caught her saying some anti-black stuff, white racist stuff. I forgot her. One of the first like reality TV show type of famous women, the Asian chick. I forgot her name. Tila Tequila. Tila Tequila. Right? Y'all think that's an accident? Richard Spencer used to date an Asian woman. Y'all think that's an accident? Man, y'all better stop playing with our intelligence. I'm just saying. And Kenyatta, once again, thank you, brother. He said, you hitting them with the rib shots, Mr. Z, got them coughing up blood. And thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm gonna leave your comment up for a little bit. And yeah, of course, bro. Look, there could have been a real allyship with the East Asian community and the Black community in America. It never was going to be a one-to-one. It would be a culture clash. We wouldn't understand each other all the way. We would it That's just not how these things work. But East Asians decided to go down the white man's road, and that's perfectly okay. And so did South Asians in America. They ain't fighting nothing. They're gonna keep their head down. They're not gonna challenge the system. They're just gonna try to climb up as high as they can. That's perfectly okay. And then deal with the consequences, though. And one of the consequences is that interracial marriage rate. And one of the consequences is the suicide rate amongst your young women. Ooh, Mr. Z, you went there. Yes, I did. Oh, y'all thought Mr. Z ain't know about that suicide rate for young East Asian women in particular? Why you think that is? Y'all got them in a white supremacist society, and y'all not even fortifying them with anything to fight against that. Y'all not even fortifying them to fight against that. Where's the pro? Y'all got pro Asian concepts in your house? Do you? Or do y'all just raise them to be anti-black and worship at the altar of white people? Do they have pro-Japanese sentiments, pro-Chinese sentiments, to the point where they don't actually marry the white guy? You could talk all that Asian stuff. If you taking white dick, I don't want to hear it. I got into a back and forth with a woman on Twitter a couple years ago. Asian woman married to a white guy. Of course she was. Talking about love. Don't tell me about no love when y'all grow up in the Asian community. Y'all still marrying white dudes at what? So much that's the most common interracial marriage rate in America. When you distinguish ethnicity from race, that's the most common. White men, Asian women, and white Asian women ain't no 20% of America. Asian women are what, like 3.5% of the American population, right? And the most common interracial marriage in America is white men, Asian women, but let's be honest, East Asian women. And y'all want to talk about love? No, that sounds like an agenda to me. Or maybe it is love. Maybe y'all love white dudes that much, and they love y'all because that submissive stereotype, whether it's true or not. And the East Asian men and the South Asian men are just mad that the white guys could pull your women more than you could pull their women. At least y'all got K-pop now. Let's see how much that changes the dynamic between East Asian men and white women. And y'all got more buffs. I seen one a couple days ago, right? Kind of cut up, swole Asian dude. At least y'all are working on your physique so that y'all. But let's be honest, that's really changing the game like that. Like that, is it? You don't challenge white supremacy. You kick down towards black people, and I don't even like the term punching down, but you punch down towards black people, and you think just going to the gym is going to solve that? Right? You better get it together. I refuse to believe once again the group of people that have accomplished so much in world history, in human history, all of a sudden don't understand race when it comes to America. Y'all understand it. Y'all go along with the anti-blackness, and when y'all run into the buzzsaw of white people reminding you you still ain't them, now you start copping please. Or you start trying to throw black people under the bus even more. No, sir. No, ma'am. And thank you very much, Trill. K-pop Asians performing in the style originated by black men, while many of their brethren and sisters talk crap about black people. But they're Harvard degrees, though, right? What's going on, Black Zennial? Exactly, exactly, right? All those degrees. Why? So you can move in closer. Man, let me tell y'all, son. First hand story, right? Or second hand, I guess, because I was told it by the person that was there. A very, very close person to me. Um, no longer here, right? No longer on this physical plane. Um, said to me once, Z, and this is a very important person to me who attended Harvard, right? And said, Z, I was um at a home with somebody very important to him, and this person was with her homegirl and her homegirl's mother. So I'm here also, and they're checking out uh, a condo, if I'm not mistaken. He said a condo or an apartment in Cambridge. And the mother, listen to me clearly. The mother comes out the mouth and said, "Yeah, this is a good neighborhood. This is nice. You can meet a good, nice white man in this neighborhood." Did y'all hear Mr. Z? You think I'm making that up? Or do you think the person who said it to me, rest in peace, he's no longer here, was making that up? Or am I just making this up as it's convenient for what I'm talking about right now? The mother came out the mouth and said that. So y'all could talk about all this anti-black sentiment coming from black people all you want. You cowards ain't got nothing really to say about white folks. Oh, maybe we're being now you got East Asians saying maybe we're being a little too critical of white folks. If you could take your nose out of their ass, please. Everybody knows what that is, bro. And Pensive says, was the dad present? No, not from my understanding. No, no, right? Let me give me a second, y'all. I should have been to this. Let me order this breakfast real quick. Give me a second, everyone. Yeah, y'all. Y'all flaming me in the comments. Look, Popeyes doesn't serve breakfast, and even if they did, I don't know if I would trust a fried chicken place with breakfast. I probably tried once though. Me and my mom tried the Popeyes chicken sandwich after all the fanfare, and we tried it at the same time. And yeah, we're like, oh, yeah, it's good, but I don't know if it's fight people in the line good or if it's stand in line for a few hours good. I don't know about that. Chelsea. Now I got the taste for waffles. Shout out to waffles. I've always been a pancake over waffle person, but I've never discounted waffles. Waffles still do their job. Give me a second, y'all. And Dr. Thunder says, "Oh, give me a second. Give me a second, Dr. Thunder." And Dr. Thunder says, "Happy Black History Month! Happy Black History Month, Dr. Thunder." Yeah, I'm kind of going in on the Asian community right now, the East Asians in particular. Although I got something to say about the South Asians too, because for a group of people with such a long, storied history and what they've been able to do for this planet, these other group of people, man, when it come to white folks, y'all just bow down. If I'm just gonna be honest, right? And unlike Dr. Thunder and all the other scholars we have in this space, I can afford to be crass, right? And I'm going to be. I don't want to be politically correct. I don't want to say things well, I'm still somewhat calm, but I I think we need a little vulgar language a little bit for this. I'm tired of it, right? Everyone wants to talk about um anti-Asian sentiments from the black community. Meanwhile, how rude East Asians are and South Asians, how mean they are, how condescending they are, them actually buying into the hype that white people really think they're the model minority. Bruh, you think we don't know about all those Chinese coming over here, breaking laws left and right? Huh? Speeding on the expressway, killing people in California. Well, oh, wait, you thought we didn't know? Illegal mob activity in California and in Canada and different all across the East Coast. Oh, you think we didn't know? The whole anchor baby business thing y'all got going on. Oh, you think we didn't know? Human trafficking. Oh, you thought we didn't know? Prostitution. Oh, you thought we didn't know? And y'all the model minority? Okay. You think we don't? Last time I checked, when that college school scandal thing happened, you know who wasn't part of it? Black people. You know who was part of it? Asians, East Asians in particular. Shout out to, who was it? Professor Black Truth or the Black Authority that covered how China and specifically, but how they cheat on the Gaokao and different tests, and you got parents downstairs in their car on the walkie-talkie with the kid. And it got so bad that the professors or the instructors had to tell them to turn the volume down on the goddamn walkie-talkies. You know, people get to hide often when they come to America. The Italians weren't able to get away with this, but when they come to America, and neither were the Irish to a certain extent, they come to America and they leave their underclass back home. So they get to talk like they some type of superior group of people to black people, particularly ADOS. And although some of their underclass and underbelly make it to America and embarrasses them sometimes, they get to leave much of the underclass back home. But we know about the Chinese and the graffiti on the walls in the pyramids in Egypt, right? We know that the Chinese government was embarrassed by Chinese tourists and what they were getting up to in Europe, in America, in Australia, in Canada. We know. We know about the mass murderers in Japan. We know. Right? So stop talking to black people like y'all are some type of special. What? Why? Because Mr. Z don't cover it all the time. I've been following 101 East for how long? For what? A decade? Maybe? As long as there's been a 101 East, I've been on it. Name them. David Soul Comedy, you name them. Fun Brothers, Tim De La Ghetto, name them. Mr. Z been listening and following back when Camp Jumbo was a thing. Mr. Z been on what? And much of y'all ain't challenging not a goddamn thing. And that's why you get to be in the positions you're in until the white people check your ass. Right? And all that keep your head down and stay away from them niggas over there, you run right into the wall of that. Right? Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks, until you want a nice East Asian son-in-law and your daughter talking about I don't date Asian men because they look like my brother. And you wonder what the hell happened over the past 20 years. You ain't fortify her with no solid feeling of being Asian, whatever, some pan Asian concept or any of that stuff. You didn't do it. You raised her in the burbs around a bunch of white folks and then fortify her spirit with nothing. Same thing with your son. The only reason your son ain't bring home a white girl yet is because they're not interested. And that's, once again, 39%, 38% of American-born East Asian or Asian men, better yet, are married outside of their race, primarily, once again, to white women. Right? So, you know, like Mr. Z said, let's be very clear. Everybody has their dark side, their underbelly, their, the people that embarrass the group, right? The people that make us look bad. But if we're gonna be clear, the Asian community, both and I don't even want to get started on the South Asians in those gangs in India, and the kids beating the crap out of each other and sometimes murking each other. Which I thought Mr. Z ain't know. And how y'all insult each other by claiming that some of the people in the North looked a little more East Asian, and that's an insult. But you thought Mr. Z ain't know? So, like I said, these people are just talking. They're kissing white butt. They know where their bread is buttered. Um, and that's okay, right? It's to be expected, right? It's to be expected. But then don't complain when your daughter come home with the white dude and she has anti-Asian sentiments. It ain't black people's fault that your daughter has anti-Asian sentiments. It ain't black people's fault that your daughters are the bust down for white dudes in these colleges and universities. Quiet as kept. Right? It's not black people's fault. And you could continue to talk all that crap about black people all you want and say, talk about black people's anti-Asian sentiments. Asians have anti-Asian sentiments, goddamn. I would argue Asians have more anti-Asian sentiments than black people do. Oh crap, we got Sandog in here. And Sandog says, Mr. Z, Sandog knows too. Like you and I had front row seats. Thank you, Sandog. Like Sandog, y'all could, I think Sandog was the one that said y'all could pull them stunts on other people, but Sandog been around the planet. All that talk, these other people talking like we don't, Sandog, they act like we don't know. Because you know what it is? Black people don't like to necessarily expose these people's kind of the internal politics that's going on in their communities. We don't really like to expose it. And and the ones of us that would, some of the hood sisters and hood brothers, they don't know. But those of us like me or you, Sandog, we don't really care to. That's not really our style. But then what ends up happening is these people start acting like we hate them or that we're targeting them. Also, they could get some brownie points from white society, right? And my argument is, why can't you just do your thing? So the cowards would much rather go after affirmative action than go after legacy admissions in these colleges and universities. Because now you stepping on white people's toes, rich and connected white people's toes, number one. Number two, you want your daughter to marry their son. So you're not going to go after the legacy admissions. You're going to try to scrape off the teeny tiny sliver on affirmative action. And y'all know them white folks are gassing y'all up. And y'all do it anyway. Right? And thank you, Kenyatta, for the $4 super sticker. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Right? And y'all do it. Y'all know they using y'all as a pawn to get rid of affirmative action, which they had an issue with from its inception. Right? So I'm over the whole black people anti-Asian sentiments. Like I said, I would argue East Asians have more anti-Asian sentiments than black people do, as evidenced by that interracial marriage rate, as evidenced by Daniel Ho's claw. He wasn't with he was over here sexually assaulting, SAing black women, and his woman was an Asian. I know he's what they would consider a hopper. A certain what was it, the consummate gentleman, he wasn't fretting over not being able to pull Asian young women. He was fretting over not being able to pull white women. Right? Asian women be busting y'all out every once in a while, and some of these a Latina woman straight up said the Asian men are trying to climb the ladder, and if they could get them a white wasp woman, that's the ideal. Blonde hair, blue eyed, Ubermensch. Y'all know what I want to say to this, because I really want to bring up Japan and the Nazis in Germany. Y'all really want to know, but it makes perfect sense. Y'all ain't learn. And Sandog says, let them play with it. The Asian Exclusion Act didn't take effect really until 1964. 1964 was it 1864? Because I thought it got repealed because of us. Maybe let me keep on reading because maybe you mention that later. 1964. Remember, black men don't abort abortion laws. We understand it's not smart to play with civil rights legislation. So okay, yeah. Okay, I see where you're going with this. Well, because we understand how these things stack, right? We understand how these things stack. God damn, I gotta. Oh, Mr. Z, you're about to say it. I'm gonna have to say it, y'all. Get ready to throw up. We understand how these things intersect. Ugh, just the way it sounds. I hate that they did this to the word intersect. Right? Excuse me. We understand that these other people, you know what it is, Sandog. If you ever played Jenga, they think they could remove the blocks from Jenga and somehow keep this thing stable without it falling over. They're removing the base of the Jenga blocks and think that they're gonna keep this thing stable, at least stable enough for them. It don't work that way. We know Asian girls like black men in formative years in high school and college. We know. We know, right? We know how they play the game. They play the game the same way the Jewish girls play the game. You have sex with, you chill with, you smoke with the black dudes when you're in high school, in college. Then when it's time to get air quotes serious, you go find you a nice white man or Jewish man and call it a day. Half the time that Jewish dude don't even have the physique or the look. Sometimes he does, of the black dude that you used to, do your thing with. So yeah, but y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. I'm about to end it out. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm gonna do a review, my own review of that video, more in depth. And shout out to him because he made it seem like Fox News, the Asian guy that I'm gonna review, probably later on today. Um, damn, I don't got my voice recorder with me. Damn it. But yeah, I'm gonna go over it again. I'm gonna go over it, and we'll have a more in-depth conversation. But shout out to the Asians, particularly the South Asians. I mean, excuse me, the East Asians, right? Shout out to the East Asians in particular, bruh. Y'all end up in the situation y'all in, and it's your fault, jeez. Oh, you know what? No. So what I'm gonna do, Sandog, and shout out to Dr. Thunder. He's going live in a few, so y'all go check him out. Um, so what I'm gonna do, Sandog, is I might have to do a panel with y'all about this. I'm going to go live maybe around 3:30 ish, maybe. And what I will do, oh man, how I'm gonna do this, because that means I would have to do this on a Sunday if we want to do a group conversation about this. Because I would love to talk to Sandog about this. Okay, Sandog, check my email in the description, and maybe we could set up something for this weekend, right? So let's do that. Ruggish caught it when I said Tara. It's your fault, Tara. Exactly. Shout out to Rogish, right? And so yeah. Sandog, check my description, and yeah. So yeah. So email me, and then we'll try to set something up, and maybe we'll do a review of these different conversations or these different commentary from the Asian cats, and then I'll bring people on after. Yeah, we could do that. Sounds like a plan, right? And thank you, Kenyatta, once again for the super sticker. Lord Juno, you disgrace your own family. Yes, man. Well, maybe. Do they? I mean, if the family wanted that too, right? And there's some conversation. Like I said, we're gonna align on certain things, but for the most part, I never thought the Asian community and the Black community would be a one-to-one lockstep on everything, because we have fundamentally two different goals. We want to be black and free. They want to be white. God damn, Mr. Z. And that's the difference. That's the fundamental difference. We over here have real conversations about colorism. We have real conversations about capitalism. We have real conversations about anti-blackness, misandry, misogyny. We have internal. We damn near, like, the black community is just so in your face about our conflicts, and that's a bad thing. But Canada, Canada, Canada. I said it the right way for the first time, y'all. Canada. I think I said it the right way for the first time. Did I say it the right way this time? Did Mr. Z finally say it the right way? Canada. I think I might have said it the right way. Maybe, maybe not. Right? Ta-da! He said, "Bravo." Finally, it only took like 8 months. No, I'm playing. It only took forever. Right? Finally. But yeah, so let me end it out here. Um, y'all like, share, subscribe. Um, yeah, and this is me kind of going at East Asian, but it's no hate for the Asian community, particularly the East Asian community. I just really have an issue with people playing victim when y'all playing the game. You're playing the game. You're playing the white worship game. You're playing the model minority game. You're playing the game. You're playing the I'm gonna stay out of white people's way. I'm not gonna challenge their power and authority. I'm not gonna challenge anti-blackness. I'm not gonna challenge the class structure. Y'all playing the game, and that's cool. But when black people call you out on it, it's not anti-Asianness, right? So I'll truly pause right there. Um, love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out Dr. Thunder. Go check out other Black Manosphere content. Go check out other non-Manosphere content. So you don't sound like this Asian dude. Um, I'm like I said, I'm gonna check out more of Professor Odie's content. And I'll truly pause right there. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. And they go said, "I'm seeing a pattern here." And they go, next stream, let me know what you talking about. But I got to go. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out.